Ooh. Yeah, spooky season started in this house. I hope that's okay with you guys. You like my boy Scully back there? That's the Green Bay fan base right now. Anyway, what is going on, guys, and welcome to my Week 2 NFL predictions. I'm not even sure what I went last week. I don't think it was that good, and I don't even want to tell you yet because this week is going to be even worse. Nearly all of these games, literally nearly all of them, are up in the air. This is insane. Like, seriously, it's taken me over an hour to go through these games and get myself comfortable with what I'm picking, and honestly, I'm really still not that settled. Couple quick things before we dig into it, though. One, head over to gfuel.com, use code WyattzWorld, save yourself a discount on any G Fuel products. And for two, if you're 18 years or older, you can download Prize Picks, the daily fantasy app where code WyattzWorld will match up to $100 of your first deposit. Guys, they've got all sorts of sports on there: football, baseball, basketball, hockey, college football, golf, UFC, you name it. But always remember, play responsibly, and let's get into the video. Alright, so starting off week 2 with Thursday Night Football, we got the Chargers going into Kansas City. Look, I know what I've said about the Chargers in the past, and I still think they're going to be menacing, but I actually am not going to pick them to win this week. I got Kansas City winning in a shootout 35-28, and 100% because they are at home. They're in Arrowhead. Guys, that is statistically one of the hardest stadiums to get a win in if you're an away team. The fans, they get so loud, there's always communication errors. Do I think the Chargers defense is going to be harsh on Mahomes? 100%. But are they going to be able to get to him in time where he cannot find one of his 5 receivers open downfield? I don't know. Mahomes looked really good last week, man. That whole offense looked really good. Clyde looked really good. If this was in LA, it would be going the other way, but right now I'm going to roll with Kansas City getting the W. Alright, and moving on to Sunday, we got our first game, the Jets going into Cleveland. This might sound weird, but I got a shockingly low-scoring victory for the Browns, 13-7. For one, the Jets offense looks like shit. How do you throw the ball 60 times and only score 9 points? Like, I don't think the Jets are capable of winning this game. However, the Browns' main source of offensive production last week was their run. In the Jets against the run, they only allowed 63 yards versus Baltimore out of 19 attempts. At least 19 attempts is all I counted. So that's why I have it being low scoring, because I think the Browns are going to try and repeat what they did last week, and they're going to have success, but just not nearly as much. But I think at the end of the day, the Browns will win. Alright, next game we got is Washington at Detroit. I want to pick the Lions, but I can't. I got the Commanders winning 27-20. Look, the Lions, simply put, they allowed way too many yards, way too many points last week. I thought that defense was going to be better. I also struggle to pick Detroit because I think the Commanders' offense really did look so good last week. The Lions will score, but sadly not as much as the Commanders, and I think Carson Wentz is going to dice them up again, and he's actually going to have a relatively fantastic start to the season. Commanders win by a touchdown. Next game we got Tampa Bay going into New Orleans. I don't know if this is even an upset at this point. I'm picking the Saints, and I'm picking them by a field goal, 17-14. They're gonna do it again, and you know what I'm talking about. Regular season Saints versus the Bucks at home is like the Undertaker at WrestleMania, man. I don't know what it is. It's something in Brady's head. It's something with all the Saints players. They get this energy, but I truly do believe they are gonna shut Tampa down, and I could have picked Tampa, but honestly, their offense against Dallas, it wasn't that impressive. Leonard Fournette was, but I don't think he's gonna be able to run like that against New Orleans. Obviously, Tampa Bay fans, you guys don't need to sweat this loss. You go through it once a year. And New Orleans fans, enjoy the 2-0 start to the season. Next game we got is Carolina at the Giants. Take the Giants. I have point, 21-20. Look, the Giants run D contained Derrick Henry really well. I think they're going to do the same to Christian McCaffrey. Now, they did allow 266 yards through the air, but I don't think Baker Mayfield handles pressure as well as Ryan Tannehill does. Flipping over to New York side on offense, they don't really need to rely on Daniel Jones this game, at least if you're asking me. Last week, Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt ate them alive. You gotta believe this is gonna be a Saquon week again. I think Daboll is gonna feed Saquon right away. He's gonna eat him up. They're gonna start to focus on containing Saquon, which is gonna open up some opportunities for Daniel to score points. And maybe for the first time ever in my life, I am predicting the Giants to start off 2-0. All right, up next, we got New England at Pittsburgh, another nail-biter. I got the Steelers winning 14-10. I don't think Mac looks great, and I think the Steelers defense does. Also, on New England's offense, what in the fuck are you doing with your running backs? Damian Harris had 9 carries for 50 yards. Stevenson had 8 for 25. When you are running the ball, use Damian. You get a running back like Damian Harris, you fail to use him at his full potential, you're gonna fucking lose games for it. Low scoring pillow fight, but I think Pittsburgh walks away with the win. Speaking of low-scoring pillow fights, we got Indianapolis at Jacksonville. God, this game is gonna suck ass. Like, seriously, no matter what happens, I do not expect this game to be entertaining at all. However, this year, I do think the Colts are gonna snap their streak. You've gotta believe they can do it. You gotta believe Matt Ryan and Michael Pittman can find a way to score. You gotta believe that Jonathan Taylor can find a way to be productive. Trevor still has to take that leap, guys, honestly. He hasn't really looked that good, and I think the Colts defense is gonna eat him. The score could fluctuate if Shaq Leonard plays, but I'm not sure of his status, so right now, I got the Colts beating the Jags 12-9. Moving on to the next game, we've got Miami at Baltimore. I've been picking both teams on this, man, flipping back and forth, and I'm landing with Baltimore. I think they're going to win 27-21. It's going to be a great game, and it's going to be a coaching battle. Baltimore being at home is certainly going to help them, but Lamar's passing last week is helping them even more. I thought he looked tremendous. You got to believe Tua might make a mistake here, too. This is in Baltimore against a very good defense. Not shitting on you, Dolphins. Like I said, I was picking you guys at one point, but I think the home field advantage and John Harbaugh is just going to be too much. I got Baltimore winning narrowly. Next game we got is Atlanta at the Rams. Rams win 30-13, big bounce back. Defense is going to sharpen up, their offense is going to be much more versatile. Honestly, I think this is going to be a pretty miserable game for Atlanta altogether, but I do hope to see some great things out of Drake London still. But guys, look at the facts here. The Rams just got slapped in the face. No, they didn't get slapped in the face. They got knocked the fuck out at home. They are pissed and they are going to eat the Falcons alive. It's Jalen Ramsey. Moving on, we got Seattle at San Francisco. Gino is not going to win. 49ers bounce back heavily, winning 24-9. No disrespect to Seattle, but in the fourth quarter of that Denver game, offensively, they got negative 11 yards. Like, I expect the 49ers to just beat the absolute shit out of them. And I know I said this last week with Denver, but they're not even going to be at home, man. I think they'll show their true colors, and it ain't bright green. All right, next game we got is Cincinnati at Dallas. Cincinnati wins 27-14. Dallas is cooked, man. They're fucked. I will say this about the Dallas offense, though. It's going to be a good time to have Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard in fantasy. It's going to be pounding the rock. It's also an awful time to have CeeDee Lamb for like the next 6 weeks. I believe Micah will be a problem. I think Trayvon will make a play. DeMarcus Lawrence is going to be good, but they're not going to win. Cincinnati's going to bulldoze them. Moving on to the next game, we've got Houston at Denver. I'm guessing a close game here. Denver wins 21-17. I just think they're a better team, and they narrowly lost by a foolish fucking decision from their head coach. Like, don't sleep on Denver yet. However, I do want to say something about Houston. For one, get Dameon Pierce involved, please. But for two, there's weird energy over there. I'm not saying they're going to be a goddamn playoff team, but I am saying defensively, if they continue to show up like they did against the Colts, don't sleep too hard, man. Especially in that division. Moving on to the next game, we got Arizona at Las Vegas. Another close game. I got the Raiders winning 28-24. Look, I think they're going to provide pressure. I think they're going to limit Kyler's running, and I think they're going to be able to limit some of his passing. Also, they're not playing the Chargers defense this week. Carr is going to have a lot more time to make a play, and I think he's going to thrive. Now, sadly, Vegas didn't look perfect last week. There is cause for concerns, but I think they're going to be better than the Cardinals, especially until Arizona is healthy again, so I'm going to pick the Raiders to get a win this week. And moving on, we got Sunday night. It is Green Bay at Chicago. Upset? No. Rodgers won't lose to Chicago, and he won't lose to him at home. If he does, I'll be convinced Green Bay's cooked this year. Chicago is Amazon, and Rodgers is Jeff Bezos in this situation, guys. Look, their offense didn't look great last week, but they got an idea of what works. You gotta imagine they're practicing this week. They're gonna have a game plan, and I really, really like Aaron Jones this week. I think Green Bay will find it a way to make it a Green Bay versus Chicago-esque game, and I got the Packers winning 20-7. Prove me wrong, Chicago, but like I said, I think last week was a fluke. All right, now we are moving on to Monday night, where weirdly we have 2 games. Both my teams, too. So first off, we got the Titans at the Bills. Fun fact, schools are getting out early in Buffalo that day to ensure everybody can get home to watch that. That's nuts. I got the Bills winning 27-17. Don't think the Titans look great. This is a Buffalo home game, and I do think the Bills look fantastic. That being said, I'm never forgetting about Derrick Henry, and I'm never forgetting about what statistically he does when he plays against us. He's gonna check in multiple times, and I think that will be the offensive production there on the Tennessee side, because I don't think Tannehill's gonna have a great passing game. Josh Allen should be able to work that defense over, and I believe the Bills will have a win and start off the season 2-0. And moving on to our final Monday night game, and our final game of the week, we've got the Vikings at the Eagles. Minnesota by a point. 1 point. I will know Minnesota's first offensive series of this game if I am right or wrong. Jefferson's going to have a harder game, a much harder game. I think the secondary there is going to be locked on him. The Vikings have more weapons than Justin Jefferson. They've got Thielen, they've got KJ Osborne, they've got Dalvin Cook. Flip over to the Eagles. They're not going to be able to run like they did last week. Are you fucking nuts? Did you see Danielle Hunter and Zadarius Smith? That's why it's going to turn to Jalen's arm, and it's not very consistent right now. It is accurate on the deep ball I've seen, statistically at least, but I don't think it's going to be accurate, and I don't think it's going to be accurate enough to get past Minnesota. Vikings are healthy. They look good. I got them winning by a point, 21-20. And that is going to be all for my week 2 predictions. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments where I went right and where I went wrong in your opinions. If you guys did like this video, you already know what to do. Comment, like, subscribe, turn that bell on. I do my absolute best to post on this channel every single day. With everything I just said, though, I'm going to hop off and get this edited so you all can watch it on time. I hope you have a great rest of your Wednesday, and as always, I will see you in the next video.